Welcome to Invisible Strings, where we tug at the little threads that hold our lives together. From mental health and relationships to marriage, motherhood, and all the beautiful chaos in between. I'm Katie, your guide to navigating life's tangled web, one string at a time. Think of this as your weekly dose of insight, sprinkled with a bit of laughter, some heartfelt chats, and maybe even a happy tear or two. So, whether you're juggling a million things or you just need a break, let's untangle life together, because those invisible strings, they're what keep us connected. This is Invisible Strings. Let's get started. It ran in my family until it ran into me. Read that again. This is not just a poetic quote, it's a collision. A cycle moving through bloodlines, addiction, silence, pride, pain, until it meets someone brave enough to say, not anymore. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you had those thoughts before where you're looking at your family who you love, grandparents, maybe great grandparents if you're still lucky, and you wonder, how did you live like that for so long? How have you sustained life with that addiction, with that personality? Honestly, I don't know anyone who hasn't looked back and thought, I can't believe we're still doing this in my family. We're still acting this way. We're still doing the thing we've been doing for 100 years. And nobody has had the courage to change. Because it ran in my family until it ran into me. If you've ever felt like the outsider in your own family, if you've been called too emotional, too angry, too sensitive, my mom and I were just talking about this yesterday. If you've made choices that cost you comfort but brought you peace, then this episode is your mirror. This is for the cycle breakers, the chain shatters, the ones rewriting the story one breath at a time. It's not easy, but it feels so good. And the most important part about it is it's not really even for you. It's for the generations and generations and generations to come. Let's be clear. Breaking a cycle is not a trend. It's a holy interruption. It's choosing to heal what hurt you without passing it on. It's learning emotional language no one has ever taught you. This is so important. The emotional language is something that I did not have and is something that I am learning and have been learning for the last year. And my girls have learned it thanks to Shine and Jules. And the emotional language and communication is something that maybe doesn't seem like it can be a generational curse, but the silence and the you're not allowed to talk because you're a child kind of rhetoric that came from the generation before us is so detrimental to our mental health and to growing and to communicating with people outside of our own families. It's apologizing better than you were raised. It's grieving people who are still alive because they can't meet you where you're at. They can't deal with the person that you're becoming. A cycle breaker is by no means perfect. A cycle breaker is just aware and is willing to do the work. And awareness is a curse until you turn it into courage. It's hard to go against things that your family has been doing for generations and generations. It's hard to make that change. And unless you have been given the confidence and maybe the eyes to see what is right and what needs to be passed down to your kids and your kids' kids. Some people might tell you that it's selfish in your family when you decide to make changes for what's good for you and your family and your children. And those people are just hurting because they can see that something needs to change. They just don't know how to change it, or they don't want to change it, or they're just not aware and they think that you're too much or you're too sensitive, like we were talking about before. I remember my mom used to tell me that people would always just tell her she was too sensitive. So she stopped talking. She stopped telling people when she was uncomfortable or upset because basically they would make fun of her. So it's so important for us to be really aware of our communication, of our family lineage, of what we're passing down to the next generation, because and supporting people that are trying to break cycles, even if it makes you uncomfortable, especially if it makes you uncomfortable. So, I want to tell you about a story about a woman who stared down a demon in my family who had been entertaining for generations. My mom. Alcoholism lived in our bloodline like a quiet thief, and it has stolen years and years and years of relationships and memories, and it disguised itself as celebration. Sneaky, then control, and then, of course, chaos. But she said one day, "This stops with me. I'm not bringing this into my family." My mom comes from 6 kids, and she is in the middle of her family, and they lived a beautiful life. Lots of big parties, lots of fun, lots of lots of everything, honestly. And when my grandmother was, I don't even know how old she was, maybe she was in her 70s or 80s, they had a conversation with her because they felt like she was drinking too much alcohol, and they had an intervention done. And my mom quickly saw it's a professional thing. Like, someone comes in and does the intervention, all of her siblings are there, people that love her are there. And the intervention was amazing. It was life changing for my mom. She listened to everything this person had said, and she looked around the room and she realized that she needed to make a change for her family. We were very little, and she left there saying, "I'm just this runs in our family. This is in our bloodline, and I'm going to stop it right now. Like, I'm not going to drink anymore. I don't want this to be my life. I don't want to ruin my marriage. I don't want to ruin my children. I am done." And so she just stopped. She just chose not to drink alcohol anymore. And there wasn't an applause. There wasn't, a big celebration. There wasn't a moment where like the sky cracked open and she was like, "I need to change. There's something wrong with me." No, it was simply just watching somebody else go through something that she never wanted to experience, knowing that this is something that has run in our family for generations and generations and generations. And actually, probably not even really realizing it until that moment. It wasn't going to run any deeper than her. When she made that decision for herself, And I know she was thinking about us when she was making that decision, but when she made that decision for herself, she didn't realize that she was also going to save us. And thankfully, she's still here. So she can see that the cycle that she broke for our family is having an impact on me, on my children. And hopefully, she'll see that it has an impact on my children's children. Because that's the thing about breaking a cycle. You rarely get to see the full impact of the curse you killed. But I'm living proof of what she buried. It's a really hard place to be when you are a curse breaker because when everybody in the family is celebrating and drinking and you're not, no one's clapping for you. Actually, people are annoyed with you and not nice to you. And they feel like you're a drag and you're annoying. And why would you do that? Because it makes people look at themselves. And when somebody breaks a curse, it is a lot of times a mirror into other people's lives. My mom making the decision to not drink anymore was what she wanted to do for herself and what she wanted to do for our family and for our lineage. But our family didn't feel that way. A lot of people felt like what she was doing was annoying and disruptive. And it was disruptive. It was 100% disruptive. And she was the first person to do it. But I can tell you now that that step that she made for herself and for our family has echoed throughout our entire family. And a large majority of our family don't drink anymore. That's incredible. She did that. She educated people. She was there for people to talk to. And that has changed the entire trajectory of my life and my sister and brother's lives and all of our children's lives and their children's lives. Do you have a cycle breaker in your family? Maybe it's you. So, what we're doing now echoes forward, right? Your healing is not just for you, it's for your children and their children and their children. I don't know if you guys have ever heard the song, The Blessing, but it's literally one of my most favorite songs. Um, it was written by Cody Carnes, Elevation, and Carrie Job, and back in 2020. And every single time I sing it, I cry. Every single time I sing it, I can feel the generations and generations and generations of people to come. And some of the lyrics of this song, like seriously, if you haven't heard it, listen to it. Um, it's so powerful. Some of the lyrics in here: may his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family and your children and their children and their children. May his presence go before you and behind you and beside you, all around you and within you. He is with you. He is with you. In the morning, in the evening, in your coming and in your going, in your weeping and rejoicing. He is for you. He is for you. But the actual song, when the music comes on with the lyrics, it's so incredibly powerful. I bawl every single time I hear it. And it just hits home how important what we're doing today is for the generations to come. It's so weighty, it's so heavy, but it's also amazing because you have the opportunity to change things and you have the opportunity to bring joy and happiness into your family for generations. This isn't self help, this is spiritual warfare. And if you heard last week, talked a lot about spiritual warfare. We're not just fighting for our lives, we're building altars for future generations to stand on. confidently to build on for generations to come. That's why it matters when you learn to name your emotions. That's hard. That started for me 2 years ago. It's why it matters when you say, I forgive you, even when they never said sorry. Do you know you can forgive people and just do it in your own heart? You could forgive them for who they are because they don't know what they're doing. And that will release them from you. And you don't even need to say it to their face. But it gets rid of the heaviness that people have on you when they've done things wrong. You can forgive them and release them. It's not weakness. That's legacy work. So breaking cycles, they don't always feel brave. Sometimes it feels like crying in your car because you don't want to yell the way your father did, or holding your tongue when every cell wants to defend. Holding your tongue when every cell wants to defend. That one that resonates in me. Or sitting in silence instead of running back to dysfunction. Telling your child it was wrong, even though you were never told that yourself. That's a huge one. Something I've done since my kids were little, I've always apologized. Always. I am the furthest person from being perfect, and I make so many mistakes, but I'm always apologizing whenever I make a mistake. And my kids do the same thing. Like, even with each other, when they get in a fight with each other, or when the girls are like not being nice to each other, like, give them a couple minutes and then you'll hear them like, I'm really sorry, Olivia. I'm really sorry, Whitney. Like, always. Um, I don't think that anyone ever apologized to Brad. He has a harder time with it, like a much harder time. I think that if you listen to the podcast a couple weeks ago, I think that he was never he was never good enough. He was always wrong, and no one ever apologized to him. So he gets very defensive. His initial reaction is to defend himself, even if he's done nothing wrong. Even if someone's not even, accusing him of anything. I mean, it could be me just being like, hey, um, what did you mean when you said this? Or like something not accusatory at all. And he has realized that, like, his reaction to even something like that is to defend himself. And that is huge that he's been able to realize that that was a pattern that he had developed in childhood. He was never allowed to speak. He was never allowed to have an opinion. Or if he did, his opinion was wrong. I'm sure that would be really hard to grow up with. And it's incredible to me that the things that my girls are learning and shine resonate with me and resonate with my husband so much. And I feel like our eyes have been opened. It's probably been a year and a half now that we're able to kind of pick through the way that we act and react to different things, and are really intentional about figuring out, why did I react that way? Because there's lots of cycles here that need to be broken. I mean, everybody has them. It doesn't always have to be something gigantic. It can be something as small as apologizing to your kids when you've done something wrong, and breaking the cycle of that mentality that our parents had, where you're the child, I'm the adult, you listen to me, I'm in charge. I don't ever do anything wrong and I don't owe you anything. Like, that was very much our parents' generation. And it can be as small as that. That can change the trajectory of your entire family. You're not going to always get recognition for realizing that there's cycles that need to be broken and doing that, you're not going to feel strong about it a lot. Like I said before, when my mom decided she's not going to celebrate that way anymore, people didn't like it. It made them feel uncomfortable with their own life decisions. Really didn't have anything to do with my mom. But the thing is, like, every time you choose healing over history, the chains weaken. And what happens when the chains weaken? We get to break them. I want you to visualize this. You're standing in the middle of a rushing river. Behind you is everything that came before: rage, fear, abuse, addiction, denial. In front of you are children who haven't even learned to flinch yet, hearts that haven't yet been hardened. You're the dam. You're the one holding it all back so that something new can flow forward. This is so sacred. It's so weighty. It's so costly. And it's yours. You can make this decision. It's so important to be the dam. And trust me, I'm sure our children will find something in us that they can also fix and they can go forward, but at least they'll have the tools then to see, like, look at what my mom and dad did. Look at how they were raised. Look at how my grandparents were raised and look at what my grandparents did. Like, we don't know what we don't know. We don't need to blame the generations before us necessarily. They didn't have the information. They didn't have the knowledge, but we have it now. There's so much we can do. There's so much we can change, and there's so much good that we can do going forward to affect the generations to come. It's sacred. It's costly and it's weighty, but it's worth it and it's yours. So, what do you do with all this? Like, what am I going to do with this now, Katie? Great. Now you have my mind racing and thinking about the things I need to change. You're not a bad mom. You're not a bad dad. You're not bad grandparents. But you have the opportunity to make things better. And if you can even picture the generations in front of you, wouldn't that be incredible to see that you broke a chain, you broke a bondage that was really hard, but it was able to create a life of freedom for your kids and your grandchildren and your great grandchildren and their children? It blows my mind every time I think about it. So let's get practical here, because all of this reflection means nothing if it doesn't move you. So, first things first, name it. What is it? What have you been thinking about this entire podcast? What is the pattern or the addiction or the control? Say it, and say it without shame. Naming something takes away its invisibility, and it feels so much better. It feels so much better to talk about things out loud, even though it might literally make your stomach crawl or make you incredibly uncomfortable. Name it first. And then choose one small disruption. Don't try to do the whole thing. Don't try to just eradicate an entire issue. Just do one thing that will disrupt it. Pick a moment. Say no when you usually people please. That's a hard one for a lot of us. We don't want to disappoint people. Pause when you usually explode. Another hard one. Like, take a beat, take a breath, walk away. Go outside, go for a walk. Literally, the walk thing really works. It's very helpful. And this is how the shift begins. The third thing is you need to build a support circle. Healing is not done alone. It is not a solo sport. You need to find a therapist or a mentor or coach or a friend that's trustworthy. You need to find a friend who understands breakers. Find a friend who understands that breakers need backups. You need backups. I called a girlfriend the other day and I was frustrated with something that had happened. And she laid it out for me so well. And I trust her entirely and completely with everything. And she spoke love to me in a hard way, but it was so eye opening. And it's something I didn't think about before she said it. And you need friends like that. You need friends like that that will, no matter what's going on in their life, they're going to speak positivity to you in your life and point you in the right direction. You need backup. Then document the journey. Journal. Record your voice in memos for your future kids. Come onto my podcast. Let's talk about it. Write letters to your younger self. A few weeks ago, I talked about something that we did on our Shine retreat where we had a picture of ourselves before we were 7, before our hearts were hardened, before the world was able to tell us who we needed to be. And it was so powerful. I can't even tell you what it released in me. Or I think I actually do tell you in the podcast, but it was so incredibly powerful. And it was stuff I didn't even know I was holding in. And I got to read it in front of my girls. And it was emotional and it was hard. But again, like getting it out there, wow, it was amazing. So write those letters to your younger self. She's still important and she's still in there. She's still probably struggling a little bit. So let her go. Get her out of there. Set her free. You are the living record of this shift. So make sure you document it because it's so important and it's beautiful. It's beautiful what you're doing. One day, your great, great, great grandchildren might not know your name, but can you picture them right now? Your children's 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 children? I I don't even know. I don't even know what they look like. But can you picture them? They are going to inherit your freedom. Because of the decision you made today, they are going to be free. What? That is mind blowing to me. Because someone somewhere in the family line said, it ran in our blood until it ran into me. It ran in your blood until it ran into you. What are you going to do? What are you going to change? What an honor to be the place where pain is interrupted. What a holy burden to be the healer they'll never meet, but will always feel. Those great, 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 great grandchildren will always feel what you've done right now. I'm going to leave you with this. You may be tired and you may be doubting your impact, but I promise you, every choice you make in love, in truth, and in healing, it matters and it multiplies. So here's what I want you to do this week. Tell the truth about a pattern in your life. Make one decision that protects your peace. Text someone and say, I'm choosing to break the cycle. I'm doing the work. I bet you, if you talk about this to other people, you're going to create a ripple effect. Other people are going to hear your words and they're going to be like, what can I change? What have I carried for so long that I don't even realize I'm carrying? What can I change for my kids and my children, my grandkids and my great grandkids? And then write it down. It ran into my family until it ran into me. Put it on your mirror. Say it every morning because it's not just a quote, it's your banner. and your legacy is watching. This episode found you. Don't keep it to yourself. Share it with another breaker. Speak life into someone who thinks you're crazy for choosing healing. And remember, you're not broken. You're breaking through. I'm proud of you. Have a great week. Thank you for joining me today on this episode of Invisible Strings, where we've tugged at a few threads and hopefully left you with a smile and something to think about. Remember, life's connections might be invisible, but they're oh so strong. If you enjoyed today's chat, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who could use a little string pulling in their life. Until next time, keep those invisible strings intact, and I'll see you back here soon for more heartfelt conversations and a dash of fun. Stay connected, stay kind, and keep untangling.